he poisoned or ill? The year is 1821. On the desolate, volcanic island of St. Helena in the South Atlantic, a man once the master of Europe lies dying. Napoleon Bonaparte, the Emperor of France, the military genius who redrew the map of the continent, is now a shadow of his former self, confined to Longwood House, a damp and decaying residence. His health is failing rapidly. He suffers from persistent stomach pains, nausea, and a general decline. Doctors are baffled. His spirit, once indomitable, is now worn down by years of exile and the relentless dampness of the island. The world watches from afar, some with a sense of satisfied justice, others with a lingering fascination for the fallen Titan. But amidst the whispers of a natural death, a darker question begins to surface. Could this be more than just illness? A web of suspicion begins to weave itself around the grim reality of Longwood House. The official diagnosis is stomach cancer, a disease that supposedly claimed his father as well. But the circumstances surrounding Napoleon's final days are far from straightforward. The British, ever vigilant in their role as his jailers, control every aspect of his life, from the food he eats to the visitors he receives. Sir Hudson Lowe, the governor of St. Helena, is a man consumed by paranoia, convinced that Napoleon is still plotting his escape and return to power. This creates an atmosphere of constant surveillance and distrust. Even Napoleon's loyal entourage, men who have followed him into exile, are viewed with suspicion. The air is thick with secrets and unspoken fears as the emperor's health deteriorates and the whispers of conspiracy grow louder. The first seeds of doubt are planted. The autopsy, performed shortly after Napoleon's death, confirms the presence of a stomach ulcer, seemingly supporting the cancer diagnosis. However, details emerge that raise eyebrows. Dr. Archibald Arnott, one of the British physicians present, notes a peculiar odor emanating from the emperor's body. Furthermore, the preservation of Napoleon's corpse is unusually good, a phenomenon that seems inconsistent with a death from cancer. These observations, initially dismissed, fuel speculation among Napoleon's supporters, particularly those who believe he was a victim of British treachery. The autopsy, meant to provide closure, instead opens a Pandora's box of questions and possibilities. The investigation has unknowingly begun. Rumors begin to circulate in Europe, whispered in hushed tones in Parisian salons and London drawing rooms. Tales of poison, of slow and agonizing death, spread like wildfire. Suspicion falls on multiple parties. Some accuse the British, eager to be rid of their troublesome prisoner once and for all. Others point fingers at the Bourbons, the restored French monarchy, who saw Napoleon as a constant threat to their legitimacy. Even members of Napoleon's own entourage are not above suspicion, with some suggesting a possible motive for betrayal. Each theory, however outlandish, finds fertile ground in the atmosphere of intrigue and uncertainty that surrounds the death of the former emperor. The hunt for the truth takes shape. Adding to the confusion is the conflicting testimony of those closest to Napoleon. His personal physician, Dr. Francesco Antamarchi, insists that the emperor was indeed suffering from stomach cancer. However, his account is challenged by others who claim that Antamarchi was incompetent and possibly even in league with the British. Countess de Montholon, a member of Napoleon's inner circle, also offers a seemingly contradictory narrative, fueling the suspicion that she may be concealing something. The investigation becomes a frustrating maze of half-truths and deliberate deceptions. Everyone has a motive, and no one can be trusted. The first false lead has appeared. A century and a half passes before a major breakthrough occurs. In the 1960s, a Swedish toxicologist named Sten Forschuffud re-examines samples of Napoleon's hair from various points in his exile using advanced analytical techniques. He discovers abnormally high levels of arsenic. This finding immediately reignites the poisoning theory, providing seemingly concrete evidence to support the long-held suspicions. Forschuffud publishes his findings, igniting a renewed wave of interest in the case and sparking a heated debate among historians and scientists. The game is now afoot. Forschuffud's research triggers a flurry of new investigations. Other scientists analyze additional hair samples, confirming the presence of arsenic. However, the debate quickly shifts to the source and method of administration. Some argue that the arsenic levels are consistent with chronic poisoning, administered slowly over a period of months or even years. Others suggest that the arsenic could have come from environmental factors, such as the wallpaper in Longwood House, which was known to contain arsenic-based pigments. Seemingly definitive evidence turns out to be far more ambiguous than initially believed. A hidden motive is revealed. The truth has many angles. The focus of the investigation now turns to potential suspects who had access to Napoleon and the means to administer poison. Charles de Montholon, the husband of Countess de Montholon, emerges as a prime candidate. He was deeply in debt, and some historians suggest that he may have been bribed by the Bourbons or the British to eliminate Napoleon. Furthermore, his proximity to the emperor would have made it relatively easy for him to administer poison undetected. The Countess herself also remains a figure of suspicion, with some suggesting that she may have been complicit in her husband's plot. The plot thickens, but the arsenic theory, while compelling, is not without its critics. Some medical experts argue that the symptoms described by Napoleon do not perfectly align with arsenic poisoning. They point to the possibility that he may have indeed died from stomach cancer, exacerbated by the poor living conditions and psychological stress of his exile. The presence of arsenic, they argue, could be explained by the common use of arsenic-based medicines and tonics. During the 19th century, the investigation is once again at a crossroads, with no clear path forward. The shocking truth becomes obscured. The investigation takes another unexpected turn when historians delve deeper into the political climate of the time. The Bourbon monarchy, restored to power after Napoleon's defeat, was deeply insecure and paranoid. They viewed Napoleon as a constant threat to their rule, fearing that he might one day escape St. Helena and rally his supporters. While there is no direct evidence linking the Bourbons to Napoleon's death, it is undeniable that they had a strong motive to eliminate him. The stakes are rising, and the political implications of the case become increasingly apparent. Another betrayal is possibly uncovered as the investigation continues. New evidence emerges suggesting that the British authorities may have been complicit, at least passively, in Napoleon's demise. While it is unlikely that they directly ordered his assassination, it is possible that they deliberately deliberately created conditions that would hasten his death by restricting his diet, denying him proper medical care, and subjecting him to constant surveillance. They may have knowingly contributed to his physical and mental decline. The circle of suspicion widens, encompassing the highest levels of British power. The story grows darker. In recent years, some historians have proposed a radical new theory, that Napoleon's death was caused not by poison or illness, but by a combination of factors. They argue that the arsenic found in his hair was likely ingested through contaminated food or water, and that it may have weakened his immune system, making him more susceptible to disease. Furthermore, they suggest that the aggressive medical treatments he received, including the administration of mercury-based compounds, may have further damaged his health. This perfect storm theory offers a more nuanced explanation for Napoleon's death, acknowledging the complex interplay of environmental, medical, and psychological factors. The resolution of the case draws near, despite decades of investigation. The question of how Napoleon Bonaparte died remains a subject of intense debate. While the arsenic theory continues to hold sway in the popular imagination, the evidence is far from conclusive. The possibility that he died from stomach cancer, exacerbated by the conditions of his exile, cannot be definitively ruled out. The truth, it seems, may forever remain shrouded in mystery, a testament to the enduring power of conspiracy and the enduring enigma of Napoleon himself. The final reveal is a haunting ambiguity. The legacy of Napoleon Bonaparte is complex and contradictory. He was a brilliant military strategist and a visionary leader who transformed France and Europe, but he was also a ruthless dictator who waged war and oppressed dissent. His death, shrouded in mystery and conspiracy, only adds to the enduring fascination that he holds for historians and the public alike. Whether he died from poison, illness, or a combination of both, his demise marked the end of an era, a final chapter in the life of one of the most remarkable figures in history. Poetic injustice or fate, we may never know. In the end, the story of Napoleon's death serves as a cautionary tale about the corrosive effects of power, the fragility of human health, and the enduring power of rumor and speculation. The search for the truth has taken us through dusty archives, forgotten medical records, and the dark corners of European history. Yet, despite our best efforts, the mystery remains unsolved, a haunting reminder that some secrets may never be fully revealed. The cultural impact is lasting and unresolved,